let me start what we stopped last lesson. That is about studies on applied geography. Here we try to discuss the importance of applied geography and the future of applied geography by citing different works carried out by prominent scholars, particularly in the field of applied geography. For example, Dudley Stamp, who was very famous in regional geography, wrote a book about applied geography. You can see here, and also not only the books, but also some important research articles were published time to time. Actually, most of the geographers who worked in the field of applied geography tried to disseminate the knowledge of applied geography through very important volumes and some research articles. We could find another modern applied geographer, Michael Passoin, who wrote different books and articles about the importance of applied geography. An applied geographical approach, according to him, has the potential to illuminate the nature and causes of a wide ranging of economic, social, and environmental problems, and inform the formulation of appropriate responses. So that is one important thing Michael Passoin emphasized in his book published by Routledge. And also, when we consider the development of applied geography as a sub-discipline of geography, one of the main reasons of the popularity of applied geography is to address very, very important, crucial issues time to time, in contemporary crucial issues. Therefore, the first book appeared here, Studies in Applied Geography and Spatial Analysis, try to explain how we can use the geographical knowledge and related techniques to solve or address very important real world issues. That is very important. So that is why we have this type of, that is why we need to explain the importance of this book. Actually, it has been reported that the applied geography can be traced at least to the the problem-oriented approach. That is very important. So we know that an applied geography commission was set up at the International Geographical Congress held in London in 1966, was a milestone to improve the applied geographical knowledge during the past few decades. That is very, very important one. So, however, we had several journals with the title of Applied Geography. One is published by Taylor and Francis from since 1981. It is called Applied Geography Journal, and also 1915, Routledge also published a journal very much related to applied geography called Papers in Applied Geography. You could find different research papers related to the applied geography in this regard. So that is another way we could identify the importance of applied geography. There are so many. There are so many. Basically, we discussed applied geography is concerned with the application of geographical knowledge and skills to the resolution of real world problems, real world social, economic, environmental, political issues. That is why we could find this type of sources. And another one, John Scott, written by a book called Applied Geography, a preliminary sketch with different maps. And he tried to emphasize how the application of geographical skills and techniques to use the resolution of real world issues. This is the Michael Passoin new version of applied geography. Likewise, there are so many applied geographic sources produced by different scholars time to time. Why we discuss this? Because these sources are important to understand the results of applied geographical research analysis, focuses different issues in the real world. So this is another one. And on the other hand, the applied geography also concerned or geographical knowledge and skills were applied not only to the broad applied geographical context, but also some important systematic subjects called applied plant geography, applied cultural geography, applied physical geography, so on and so forth. Umesh Umar, also one of the authors who wrote books on applied geography, the right side book is one example. However, when we look at some important materials in relation to the applied geography produced by different scholars, we could see that the applied geography has been developing from different dimensions, different conceptual frameworks. Bailey, Antine, and Lay in 2004 wrote a book called Applied Geography, A World Perspective. Applied Geography, A World Perspective. This volume covers three broad areas of applied geography, three important areas covered by this book, written by Bailey and others. History and epistemological foundations and perspectives in applied geography from different parts of the world, and case studies in applied geography. These three broad areas were covered by this book and emphasize the importance of applied geography in day-to-day life. And this book has specific chapters, deal with a variety of topics, including historical foundation of applied geography and the rise of policy analysis, so on and so forth. That is another example how geographers, how intellectuals try to emphasize the importance of applied geography by using different concepts. This one is also very important. This is also a book. It has 100 problems written from different geographical perspectives called World Minds. The authors of this book, you can see Jenny Donald, Barry Waugh, and Katni Hanson. Those are the editors. So there are so many chapters of this book. This book was commissioned to celebrate the 100th anniversary of century of the founding of the Association of American Geographers. That was one of the very, very prominent geographic society in the world, Association of American Geography. So this book was published to celebrate the Association of American Geographers anniversary, 100th anniversary. So the book is divided into 10 sections that covers topics such as addressing human needs in health and education, enhancing life in cities, integrating local and global economies, so and so forth, and maintaining health ecosystems. So this book really addressed the 10 problems that can be explained from holistic approach by using geographic concepts and skills. This is another one. This is called Applied Geography, Pursuit of Useful Knowledge, written by Michael Passoin. It is a research paper, and actually it is a concept paper. In this paper, Passoin addresses some of the critiques that applied geography has focused from both Marxist and postmodern theorists. The paper discusses useful knowledge, the relationship between pure and applied research, and the value of applied geography, values in applied geography, and doing applied geography, and prospectus for applied geography. So how applied geography can be used based on the different perspectives according to Passoin. Very nice article that helps to improve disseminate the applied geographical knowledge throughout the world. This is also the Passoin's volume, as I told, Applied Geography Principles and Practice. It is a book that contains 30 chapters that cover 3 broad areas of applied geography. What are the 3 broad areas covered by this book in applied geography? Natural and environmental hazards, environmental change and management, and challenges of the human environment. These are the 3 areas, broad areas covered by 30 chapters, Specific topics, particularly the global warming, earthquakes, landscape evaluation, and wetland conservation, urbanization and counter-urbanization, and poverty and deprivation, so on and so forth. So it is very important to know that when the global issues, both human and environmental, arises, the applied geography scope, the application of the knowledge of geography, also very important in this regard. That is why that is the main thing highlighted by this volume. And also we have another 20-chapter volume book called Studies in Applied Geography and Spatial Analysis, Addressing Real-World Issues, as I show you previously, written by the Stimson and others. This 20-chapter volume, I am explaining this. I'm explaining this blue one book now. So this book, 20-chapter volume, covers a wide range of topics in applied geography. It has 20 chapters. So what are the topics? Particularly, for example, very important applied topics you can see here. For example, transport policy in Pakistan, using geographic information systems and spatial modeling to support school network planning in Estonia, and the implications of urban growth for emergency services provisions in Brisbane, Australia. So when you see these three topics, for example, you can see all those are very practicable for the well-being of the community. One is talk about the transport policy. So we need to apply some geographic knowledge and skills to resolve the transport policy issues. And on the other hand, how GIS can be used and spatial modeling to support school network planning. That is very important. We have when we need to, that is very important to establish a school network planning in any country. So on the other hand, urban growth for emergency services provisions in Brisbane, Australia. So even developing countries, overdeveloped countries, the applied geography aspect is very important. That is the main purpose of this book. This book also helps to signify the importance of applied geography recently. We have again a paper written by Michael Fassoin called Applied Geography in Pursuit of Useful Knowledge. This paper examines the substance of this critique and employs the concept of useful knowledge to illustrate the principles, practice, and potentials of an applied geographical approach to challenge of enhancing the quality of present and future living conditions and environments on the planet Earth, on the Earth's surface. We should consider the present and future living conditions and environments on the planet. So we need to enhance the quality, both natural environment and the human environment. In order to fulfill that need, it is important to use the applied geography because it focuses holistically a problem. Seeking solutions for a problem very much need the applied geographic approach. So that is the thing emphasized by this article. When we consider the Fassoin's book, he mentioned his book, Applied Geography Principles and Practice. There are, so we can see then what are the main issues concerned by applied geographers during past 20-30 years. What are the techniques of spatial analysis, particularly? Global warming, acid precipitation, extreme weather events, earthquakes and volcanism, landslides, floods, coastal erosion, physical problems of urban environments, more and more. Those are the areas where are very necessary of applying geographic knowledge and skills. So, and also there are so many techniques as we learned. Applied geography means using geographic knowledge, theories, and skills to solve the different kind of problems. So, for example, the erosion hazard, for example, has only minor influence on land use decisions. But the use of low-cost land management practices designed to reduce the erosion risk are widespread, especially in some development and developing countries. So those are the things we should consider about the significance of applied geography by For example, the techniques of spatial analysis, remote sensing and environmental change, computer cartography, geodemographics, global positioning systems, computer simulation and modeling, urban structure and geographic information system. You know exactly what is geographic information system. Those are the techniques particularly we can use in applied geographic research, in applied geographic activities. So those are the things mentioned by the Passoin in his book. Now I will show you, for example, what is a protocol for applied geography if we consider one case, urban, economic, social, and environmental problems. For example, we get an example from urban, economic, social, and environmental problems. So how we can apply, how we can use applied geographic perspective for here to understand this. There is a protocol of applied geography. We need to follow a system to understand or to come up the best solution for a problem. For example, if we have a garbage dumping issue in urban areas, how we could address to solve this issue, to improve the policies against this problem. For example, we need first description. Without description, we can't identify the real problem. Therefore, identification of problems and issues are very important at the very beginning stage. The second stage is explanation. We need to explain the problem. If we consider the poorest of the poor in marginalized urban regions like shanties and slums, first of all, we should understand the problem clearly. Then we should explain analysis to provide understanding of the existing situation. How many people are suffering from the deprivation, malnutrition? What is their food shortage, and what are the reasons behind it, so and so forth. And then we evaluate. Unless we evaluate the problem, we can't come up with the important findings. Therefore, evaluation is very important. That is the third part of a protocol for applied geography in urban, economic, social, and environmental problems. Development of alternative programs of action, assessing the merits of alternatives. Assessing the merits of alternatives. So those are the things we should consider. The fourth one, prescription. Presentation of recommended policies and programs to decision makers. Presentation of recommended policies and programs to decision makers. Why we analyze and evaluate the problem, we need to give the prescription. We need to recommend policies and programs to decision makers. Either politicians or the other government officials, they should select our recommendations to implement. Then the fourth stage is implementation. Implementation means we try to make solutions. Organization and coordination to promote implementation of policies and programs. For example, via scholarly publications, contractor reports, expert witness, or active participation, so on and so forth. However, the implementation phase is very important. Even though we could find different important findings, and even though we have the very excellent recommendations and policies, if implementation is failed, that is not the success of the solution. Therefore, implementation is very important. Then we should monitor. Monitoring process is very important. Whether our recommendations are work as we wished, or whether our recommended policy is taken place at the real situation, something like that. The monitoring is also very important. The monitoring process is also very important, right? So this is a good example how we can use applied geography as a protocol if we have to solve the problems in urban, economic, social, and environment. So that is an example. For you, when you further study this lesson, you can actually apply some particular urban, economic, social, environmental problem here. For example, garbage dumping, or the domestic waste management, or water pollution in urban areas, something like that. Then you can select description, evaluation, and explanation and evaluation, prescription, implementation, and monitoring. Another example is here. If you do a research and applied urban geographical perspective to improve the quality of urban life, our focus is to improve the quality of urban life. How we get the approach, how we can approach to this problem as geographers, how we use the applied geography to understand this. First of all, we know that there are so many sub-disciplines of geography, urban, rural, so and so forth. Physical geography was there, regional geography there, environmental geography there, human geography there. So we select the human part because of our aim is to quality of life of urban population. Urban geography. Then when we consider the urban geography, there are so many dimensions in urban geography: social, economic, political, cultural, so and so forth. But we need to identify the important parameters, policies. We need to introduce some programs to improve the urban quality of life, that is social. Therefore, quality of life research should be conducted. Those research may be interurban studies or the intra-urban studies. Some research, for example, socio-spatial variations along different dimensions can be carried out by considering the different linkages between different cities. That is called interurban studies. We consider the different urban centers, but sometimes we have to consider the intra-urban studies. Actually, if we need to develop the quality of life, a selected urban area, that is intra-urban studies. So socio-spatial variation along the different dimensions mean we have to consider the different dimensions in relation to the quality of life of urban dwellers. Health, wealth, housing, crime, education, employment, power, citizenship, so on and so forth. Those are the things, right? So those can be considered as territorial social indicators. Then we have the quality of life spectrum. That spectrum has advantages and the disadvantages. We should consider the disadvantages of the quality of urban life spectrum. Why? We need to address these things. For example, there are so many disadvantages: multiple deprivation, residential dissatisfaction, environmental decay, social exclusion, dangerous places, so many. So that is the way we can use applied geography understanding the quality of life of urban dwellers. Right? Okay, now this is the first assignment you have to complete. I let you know the time and the way in which you can conduct this assignment. But remember, I expect you to the 2 pages typed or the handwriting 4 pages for this small assignment. This is only one of the assignment series under this course unit. We have different assignments in future. This is the first one. The expectation of this assignment is you have to explain the future of applied geography within the context of modern technology. Future of applied geography within the context of modern technology. So the purpose of this essay, you have to write a 2-page essay. You have to write a 2-page essay on future of applied geography in the context of modern technology. I suggest you to cite the chapter 5 of very important book recently published called Applied Geography, A World Perspective. In this book, there is an interesting chapter called The Role of Geographic Information Science in Applied Geography. The role of geographic information science in applied geography, written by Arthur Geddes. You can this chapter available from 95 to 111 pages of the book Applied Geography, A World Perspective. I have already uploaded this chapter into your LMS as well as your WhatsApp group. What you have to do is, by citing some important facts, highlight by this chapter, you have to write an essay. I am really saying you should not copy the sentences and the chapters as it is from this chapter, because I have an experience marking your assignments provided for past second semester, particularly political geography and the regional geography. There are very different gaps between different students. No marks for some times. Why? They have not provided accurate answers by considering the assignment topic. Some people may think that even though we write anything, we would be able to get the marks. No, the 0 is also there. Why? You do not care about the assignments. Remember, this is very important. We measure through this exercise your critical thinking ability, your creativity, your organization skill in writing, your writing ability. So all the things. So you should be able to write an essay by considering the aim of the assignment. The aim and the objective is to highlight the significance of, highlight the future of applied geography in the context of modern in the context of modern techniques. So for a very little moment, I will show you the article I suggest. This is the article I suggest you to cite for your first assignment. It is written by author Gittis. I'll show you. Can you see the article? Can you see the article? No? You can see. Can you see the article?
Yes.
The role of geographic information science in applied geography. In abstract, author Gittis said, applied geography has undergone remarkable change in the last 20 years. Powerful new technologies have emerged that greatly improve the ability to collect, store, manage, view, analyze, and utilize information regarding the critical issues of our time, present day. So he says, powerful technologies important for us to collect, store, manage, view, analyze, and utilize information regarding the critical issues, regarding the contemporary critical issues. These technologies include geographic information systems, global positioning systems, satellite-based remote sensing, and a great variety of remarkable software, and allows for the analysis of the compelling problems. The issues include globalization, global warming, pollution, security, crime, public health, transportation, energy supplies, and population growth. Geographic information science has given rise to an essentially multidisciplinary approach to applied problems. That is very important. No single person is expert in all of these areas. It is necessary to emphasize coordination and collaboration and to find the bridges that reduce the barriers between disciplines. In this chapter, we briefly discuss the new technologies and the way in which they are being used to solve the critical issues, how geographic knowledge and skills, techniques can be used to solve the problems. We then make suggestions for an applied geography future vis-a-vis the geographic information sciences. So it is very clear now. You have to write the future of applied geography in the context of developing new technologies. You know what is new technology. So you can refer any other sources as well. So aim is you have to write an essay by highlighting the importance, highlighting the future of applied geography